feelings around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we will be rating every player's performance from Tottenham Hotspur's 4-0 win over Crystal Palace in the Premier League, as Kane got a brace, Son got one, and Matt Doherty bagged another, as Tottenham beat Crystal Palace 4-0 to get them out of their Premier League slump. Before we continue, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. If you enjoy this video and you want to see more Spurs content, comment down below who your man of the match was. We'll start with goalkeeper and captain Hugo Lloris. I'm going to give Hugo a 7.5.
I'm also going to give Hugo a 7.5. Had such a convincing performance today, first half and second half. First half made a brilliant save against a Jordan Ayew attempt where he almost got wrong-footed but did really well to get a strong hand out there. Second half also had a couple other saves as well.
I believe against Olise and one from Eze. He saved two from Olise and Eze. Big saves, huge reactions, and really the biggest reason that we kept a clean sheet, because those saves were really, really good. And after some very, very poor form against Aston Villa, I think this can be the start of his little uptick. I know we say that a lot, but I really do hope that he does start to become a little more consistent, because he seemed really, really confident today in goal. Moving into our center backs, starting with World Cup winner Cristian Romero, who started on the right side of the center backs. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
I'm also going to give him a 7.5. Looked really calm on the ball today. He was just casually playing a lofted ball to his goalkeeper and passing back with lofted balls. He's gotten some real confidence after winning the World Cup, and he was really solid in defense today.
Yeah. And I think Romero, easily one of the best players in our defense today. All three were great, but I think, in my opinion, Romero was just a little more solid. That World Cup experience really is going to come in big for him, because he just looks very, very composed on the ball, very confident. And I'm hoping that he stays like this throughout the next couple of games, because we're going to need it. Moving into our center back, Eric Dier dropped back into the side after a poor performance against Brentford saw him drop to the bench against Aston Villa. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
I'm also going to give him a 7.5.
I thought he was very, very composed today. Very calm on the ball. I think there were points where he did have, like, that Brentford mistake was still playing on his mind a little bit, because at points he looked a little unsure of what to do with the ball. There was one case where he just hoofed it up into the sky instead of properly taking it down, taking a touch and clearing it. So I think that mistake is going to play on his mind a little bit. But right now, I think he's the best thing that we've got at center back. And he's probably going to play the next couple of games. But I'm still worried about that potential mistake that comes out of him every couple of games.
Such a big difference between our defense against Aston Villa without Dier versus today against Palace with Dier. Dier really composes and settles our defense. Of course, he's really solid, especially on the ball. Not when it's bouncing and he might have to volley it and bring it down, but when he steadily has the ball and is passing around the back, that's where his experience where he formerly was a defensive midfielder comes into play.
Yeah. Continuing to our last defender, Clement Lenglet, the Frenchman on that left side. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought he was kind of on Dier's level. There were points in the first half where I felt he was a little shaky, a little easy to get past. But once we started shutting them down in the second half, he looked much better, made some excellent last-ditch tackles and blocks, and was very, very important today.
Yeah, I'm also going to give him a 7.5. In the second half especially, made some really good defensive moves. Even in the first half, he had a very slow start, but then he had two really good header clearances. And he was really important for us that we didn't concede in the first half there.
Yeah, very, very important. Let's move into our wing backs, starting with our third goal scorer, second goal scorer technically of the third goal, Matt Doherty. I'm going to give him an 8. He was excellent today.
I'm also going to give Matt Doherty an 8. Really, this has topped off his good form recently, and it tops off that he should start there ahead of Emerson Royale.
Yeah, he got that all-important goal. That's going to mean the whole world to him. When he was subbed off, he got a huge hug from Antonio Conte. So I think this is going to be a little bit of an uptick in his form. He looked much better than Emerson today. No flashy skills, no weird tricks, just composure on the ball when he needed it. But then he knew to stick to his space. His crosses were excellent, I think, today. We didn't score off of any of them, but they caused the danger in the back line of Crystal Palace. And he took his goal beautifully on his weak foot. Very, very well-taken goal.
Deserved it. Really deserved it.
Yeah, I think he could be our next right wing back, at least for now.
He is 30, but he's got 5 years at least left in him until he's 35. Perisic is 34, and he's still at the level he's at.
I don't think we'll see him until 35. I think we might sell him before that. But at least for the rest of this season, if he keeps this form up, he's going to be a guaranteed starter every game. I think for Arsenal, unless we get someone random in like Pedro Porro, he's going to start. He's just way too important. He's so good on the attack. Our other side of wingback was Ivan Perisic, who delivered a beautiful cross in for Harry Kane's first goal. I'm also going to give him an 8.
I'm going to give Ivan Perisic a 7.5, a little bit lower of a par than Matt Doherty, but also had a brilliant display. Like you said, got the assist for Harry Kane's first goal to give us the 1-0 lead, and a really convincing performance from him. Really good crosses, and just his usual self, Ivan Perisic. He did have to come off for like 20 seconds to change his boots in the second half, but yeah, good performance from Perisic.
He is obviously solidified his point as probably our starting left wing back, and that's shown by the point when Sessegnon came on. A high lofted cross that looked like it was going to go out came into from the left-hand side, and Sessegnon kind of switched off, and we almost conceded had it not been for Lloris's alertness and his awareness to quickly grab the ball, but Sessegnon completely shut off there, let his opponent get right in front of him. So it's going to be... it's going to be, I think Perisic, that's where the big gap between Perisic and Sessegnon comes up in display, because that awareness, the match awareness, is what's most important for us. And Perisic has that completely. Moving into midfield, which was probably, honestly, one of our lower points of our team today, especially the starting players. We'll start with Højbjerg. I'm going to give Højbjerg a 6.5.
I'm going to give Højbjerg a 6.75. Looked really sluggish in the second half. I think he was getting tired. I think Conte probably should have subbed him off. He did pick up a little knock at a point, but he did get back up on his feet. But he was really sluggish after that little knock he got, so I hope everything's okay with that.
I'm sure
Højbjerg, not his best, but he got the job done. He wasn't bad.
See, what we consider for Højbjerg a bad performance is still an averagely decent one in the fact that he's winning most of his tackles, and he's relatively okay in this game. He didn't make any glaring mistakes, but that just shows you where the standard is for a player of his caliber and how good he actually is, because he's the glue of our team.
He's so consistent.
He is so incredibly consistent for us. And I know this was a little bit poor of a performance, but still, I maintain that
he got the clean sheet
memo that he maintained the clean sheet. He got the job done. Our other midfielder was Ollie Skipp. I'm going to give him a 6.5 as well.
I'm also going to give Oliver Skipp a 6.5. At times in the first half, he was having trouble dealing with Wilfried Zaha and Eze. But as the game grew on, he looked like he was doing pretty good. And he's finding his feet in the Premier League.
Yeah, undoubtedly. He looks, I think it's what you see from a player who hasn't had consistent game time after a 6-month injury, which he suffered in January of this year, I believe. January of last year, 2022, is when he suffered it. But it's going to be a rocky road back to the big first team for him, I think, because he's not going to get an incredible load of opportunities with the competition we have. Basuma's going to be fighting for a place. Bentancur and Højbjerg, of course, as our starters. And Sarr. We'll get onto him later, but Pape, Matar, Sarr. Unbelievable player. We're going to get onto him when we eventually rate him individually. But for now, let's move on to our front three, starting with star man Bryan Gil.
I'm going to give him an 8.
I'm going to give him a an 8 as well. What a performance.
Looked energetic right from the kickoff whistle. Immediately got a shot on target, long range shot. He had confidence to take it on, and tested the keeper within like the first 5 minutes. So Bryan Gil is finding his confidence, and he's taking his chance. Kulusevski is injured, which is giving him the chance to play. Otherwise, he would not have started. And he realizes this is his chance to sign. This is his chance to show Conte, to show the world what he can do. Yeah. And he really pulled off a great performance today.
Yeah. Gil was just surprisingly good. His pass to Kane, right between the two Crystal Palace defenders for Kane's second goal, was beautifully timed, right to Kane's feet that he could control easily. I swear you're never going to see Emerson Royale do that in his life, or Lucas Moura. I actually don't think that when you have that kind of pressure, they're gonna pull off that kind of a pass that Gil did, because the accuracy, the speed was just perfect for Harry Kane, and it is exactly what we needed. And while Kulusevski is out with his injury, Bryan Gil is looking like a real contender to replace him, because 2 games in for his 2 starts in the Premier League, and he is looking very, very good in my opinion. Moving on to our striker, 2 goals today, Harry Kane.
I'm going to rate him a 8.5.
I gave him an 8.5 as well. Beautifully taken goals.
Yeah, in quick succession as well. Had a slow start to the first half, looked a little lethargic on the ball, a little sluggish. But in the second half, he really came to life with his headed goal and his sublime finish to give us the 2-0 lead. Really well taking goals. I believe he's now on 15 goals in the Premier League this season.
Yep.
Which is amazing. Yeah. But it's just overshadowed by Haaland's just above 20 goals. Does he have 20 or 21?
Yeah, so I think he's on 21 now, but Harry Kane has played in 18 Premier League matches, and he has 15 goals and 1 assist. That is like record-breaking levels. The only reason no one's picking this up is because Haaland exists, and it's just ridiculous because Haaland is on 21 and 18, which is unbelievable. But
2 goals away from what Son and Mo Salah both got last season, who shared the Golden Boot at the end of the season.
Yeah. End of the season, may I add. We're not even halfway through.
At 37 games played, Son was on this level. He had 21 goals.
That is absolutely crazy. But Harry Kane, he is right on. Okay, but he's 6 goals behind Haaland, but that's still, I consider, on his tail. And if it wasn't for Haaland, we'd be screaming at Kane, calling him the best striker in history in the Premier League, because the form the guy has been in this season is unbelievable. In August and September, he scored a goal a game for like 6 games straight. It was ridiculous. But he has been on tremendous form this season, and he just further took it another step with 2 brilliantly taken goals today. 1 header and 1 right-footed shot. Almost a hat-trick. Moving on to our last starting 11 player, Heung-min Son, who scored his first goal in the Premier League since his hat-trick against Leicester back in September 17th, 2022. A beautifully, excellently controlled ball taken down, scored by his left foot. Little deflection, but he will not care. I gave him an 8.
I'm also going to give Son Heung-min an 8. He's finally finding his feet again in the Premier League. All he needed was 1 goal, and he's back in business. He's back to his best for Tottenham.
A huge goal for his confidence, I think. This is going to mean the world to him because he's going to be back in it. We've got big games coming up, so he's going to be very, very happy that he scored that goal. And it's going to be very, very important because we need our main man firing, and Son has not been firing this season, but even he looked better after that goal. Way more confident. His touches were better, so...
Yeah, he always looked rushed on the ball before his goal. After his goal, he was calm, taking however many touches he needs, and then getting his pass off. And he just looked like his normal self.
Yeah. Son is gonna. I think this is the start of his comeback season. He even had a press conference right after the game. He said that he hopes this is the start of his season. Really, the start of his form this season, because we haven't really seen that from him. but it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of days for Heung-min Son. Now that's it for our starting 11, but we've got some interesting substitutes to cover. The first one, and really the one we mean the most, Pape Matar Sarr, the Senegalese 20-year-old midfielder, came on for Oliver Skipp in the 66th minute, and my God, was he good.
What a player. I'm going to give Pape Matar Sarr an 8.
I'm going to give Pape Matar Sarr a 7.5. He was on the pitch for barely 25 minutes, and he put out a performance that was comparable to Moussa Dembele. And
he can be our next Moussa Dembele.
We haven't seen a player like Moussa Dembele since Moussa Dembele himself left the club in 2018. So for us to see that kind of a performance from a 20-year-old kid, the running that he did, the physicality, the intelligence on the passing, it is just incredible to see, and he is a huge, huge player for us. And I think he's going to be a big player.
There's no question. He is going to start in our weekend match in the FA Cup against Portsmouth. There is no question. We want to see what this man can do after such a good debut for Spurs. Well, I think he's come on another time, but let's just say this is his debut. What a performance from Pape Matar Sarr. He needs to get his start. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Like, next time Skipp starts, I think next time Benteke or Basuma are not available, and when we normally start Skipp, I think Pape will start alongside Højbjerg. That partnership looked great today.
We're definitely going to see Pape start against Portsmouth in the league FA Cup. It's going to be definitely a Skipp Sarr midfield, so I think that's going to be a very interesting game to watch. We'll see really what Sarr is made of, if he's going to really carry this team a little bit in midfield, because I think we're not going to put out a strong squad. I think we'll see Lucas Moura. I want to say Richarlison, but who am I kidding? Richarlison's injured. But we're going to see a lot of the backup players.
Bryan Gil. I think he's going to play.
Yeah, probably.
We have a week west until Arsenal.
Sessegnon's going to get some time out. Forster's probably going to go in goal. Jed Spence, I'm really hoping for a Jed Spence appearance on that right side. But we all know it's probably going to be Emerson. It's going to be Emerson. But I like to stay optimistic. Our other two substitutes that we're going to rate are Sessegnon and Emerson. I'm going to go quickly and say mine. Sessegnon and Emerson both get a 6.5 from me. Emerson was okay, nothing crazy, just his usual odd self. But Sessegnon shut off for that one chance for Crystal Palace, and that was really his shakiest point, because other than that, he looked pretty solid for the 10-15 minutes that he was on the pitch, but nothing much to say about those two wingbacks.
Yeah, for me, Emerson, 6.5, really did not much wrong, didn't do much amazing.
Yeah, but nothing wrong.
He just needed to keep our lead. He just needed to keep our clean sheet alive. That was his job, and he got it done. Sessegnon, I'm giving him a 6. He did make some errors, really shaky when he thought the ball was going to go out, but he was not alert enough when the ball was still in play.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Jordan Ayew who completely left him open and did not pressure for him for the ball. Didn't contest for the header at all. And then another one in attack when he was on the left side. A ball was played to him, and he couldn't get the touch off. It was not a great touch from him. Shaky performance, but we got the job done in the end. Clean sheet for us.
Yeah. That's it for our player ratings. I know this is a bit of a longer one for us, but this game definitely deserves it. I can't wait to see how we play against Arsenal and against Man City after this. But it's going to be a very, very, very big week. Big couple of weeks for Tottenham Hotspur. But that's it for our player ratings. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you want to see more Tottenham Hotspur content. Comment down below what you thought of this match. And until next time,
come on, you Spurs!